Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome to DuePoint. Good evening to everyone who's tuned in around the country on our live stream. So my name is Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint. I'm going to be spending about 45 minutes with you this evening, so not too long. And we're going to go over just a little bit of background on DuePoint so that you know who you're dealing with. And then more importantly, the bulk of the presentation is really about the opportunity, the benefit for you in deciding to collaborate or partner with our business. All right, so after the presentation, you're welcome to ask any questions or come speak to me if you like. All right, so let's begin. As you can see, we're a division of a company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. That's Constantia's little orange logo. They're building in the background. They're down the road here in Randburg. We are a registered insurance company in South Africa. We've been around for a very long time. We've been in operation since 1952, so for nearly 7 decades. And successfully so too. We've never dealt with consumers, so it's probably a brand that you're not familiar with because we've never been in the public eye. But through this division, DuePoint, you'll probably become a lot more familiar with the brand. You're welcome to go do a background check on us. I think you should, if you do decide to join us in this business. Know exactly who you're dealing with. Credibility is very important. We are listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange too under a group called Conduit Capital. The FSP number that we operate under, so that's our Financial Services Provider License number. That is our license to operate in financial services in South Africa. That's very important. Anyone dealing with any financial products should always quote you their FSP number. We've got a number of financial licenses, so we've got a long and short-term insurance license, we've got an investment license, and we've got the FSP license. So you're welcome to go scrutinize those. We've actually got them printed and framed up on the wall in our foyer above the water cooler. They're on our website. You can also go to the FSCA website and go check them there, all under Constantia's company name. So make sure you do a little bit of a background check. We take credibility fairly seriously because I know I'm someone who comes from advertising. I know that for any partnership or transaction to happen, there has to be trust involved, and we want to build long-term relationships with the people that join us, and so start building that trust in the business. Our senior staff are these people up on screen, so the executives and the management team. The first 3 people are registered chartered accountants. They take care of a lot of important aspects in our business, namely the auditing requirements, the accounting requirements in our business, and then probably most importantly, the regulatory requirements in our business to make sure that we're always treating our customers fairly. Brendan is our senior executive on the far right or far left there. He's got a lot of experience in financial services, particularly in insurance, because he grew up in a household that only knew insurance. His father was selling insurance door to door the moment he left school, and his father built a insurance empire. So he had a lot of success. His father founded Clientele Life and the IFA all those many years ago, and then Brendan and his brother Stuart followed in their father's footsteps, and they had some resounding success too. So they together as a family founded the business down the road, Prime Meridian Direct, or PMD, which is the 4th biggest short-term insurer in the country, and that's a short space of about 10 years, so it's a fairly new business. Brendan was the Chief Operating Officer there, so we've got wonderful financial pedigree in Mr. Benfield. Jane and myself, we're the 2 non-accountants. Jane is very experienced in network marketing, referral marketing, direct sales. She has cut her teeth in that industry pretty much the moment she left school too. So she's actually from the UK. She brings this international experience, international flavor to our team with regards to referral marketing, which is fairly important to our business because we're an insurance company, but the marketing model that we've adopted is one of referral marketing, and that's where the collaboration proposition comes into play, and all our growth is dependent on that collaboration. And so Jane's experience is very important to us. And then myself, I've been working in advertising. See, it's almost life-size, right? A bit of a big head. But I've been working in advertising for about 25 years, particularly in the digital space. A lot of experience in branding, creative direction, design, that type of thing. I ran a digital agency for about 15 years. That was fairly successful. I say successful because we never retrenched anyone in 15 years. But challenges nonetheless. I exited that business. It's still in operation today, but I left the business to join the team here at DuePoint. So new environment for me, very exciting. The mandate of all the staff here, so our focus pretty much every day is on how to support people that join us in this business. Fortunately, we're in the position where a lot of technology takes care of our operational side of things, and that allows us to now focus on the partnerships that we create with everybody that decides to join us in this business. And so we want to see people that join us in this business being effective, because that's where our growth is dependent upon. So we have to see you effective, otherwise we wouldn't grow in South Africa. But for you, we want to see you to become profitable as quickly as possible, because if you don't become profitable, well, then you're not going to hang around, right? And so if you can be effective and profitable, I think you will be happy, because what we really want to have here at DuePoint is social impact. We want to change people's lives, or at least allow them to empower themselves to change their lives. And so we do everything to support you. So no, you're not alone when you join DuePoint. Very quickly, we discuss the circumstance that South Africans find themselves in. This is a painful slide because you've got the word debt up on the screen there. We all know debt. We love debt very much because we've got lots of it. We never give it up. We never turn our back on debt. Hopefully through this business you will. That's really one of our aspirations. So I'm not going to go on too much about it. You just have to open the newspapers. That's horrible, eh? I don't even know. On my phone, I've got the News 24 app on my phone, and then it comes through. VBS Bank retrenching how many staff? Because 2 billion rand disappeared out bank accounts. Hey, those are people, that's pension money, right? Pension money. You thought your pension money was safe. Anyway, so we can labor on about all the pain that we're dealing with currently from a personal finance point of view. But really our business was created to mitigate that risk in people's lives, to create another avenue of opportunity. And so 2.5 years, Constantia launched this division called DuePoint, the DuePoint system in particular, with a number of aspirations in mind for people that join our business. So we want to see people actually aspire to becoming debt-free. Right? You didn't come to this presentation imagining that I was going to tell you must pay your debt off. You thought you were just here to earn extra money, right? But the language, really, the language of DuePoint, because we have social impact in mind, is not just to create additional income for people. You know, you can earn extra money if you just carry on spending more, or just buying a bigger car or a bigger house that's financed every time. You're nowhere closer to becoming wealthy. And we're all about wealth creation. And so one of the things that we have to tell people is, well, get rid of your debt first as a priority, because that really empowers you to then create wealth. And we create wealth through the ownership of assets. And assets can take on a number of forms, but hopefully they're assets that appreciate in value, and they might be assets that create annuity income, and that's where true wealth lies. So those are aspirations we have in mind for people. It's always about wealth creation. How does our business work? You have the opportunity as guests to join this business called DuePoint. Once you join us, we call you a wealth engineer. So that's what everybody's called, wealth engineers. No one's complained about the title, so I think it's a good title. Nonetheless, what are you supposed to do as a wealth engineer? So your task is to go out and build, or assist us in building, what we call a channel of distribution. So you're going to be building a channel of distribution for yourself, for DuePoint, and we will market and sell our products into the channels of distribution that you create. How do you do that? You basically just go out and tell people about DuePoint. Right? It's like going to watch a good movie, and you come out the movie and you tell your friends, I watched this movie, it was great, you should go watch it. Unfortunately, Ster-Kinekor and New Metro don't give you any money for that referral. But there are many referral systems that corporates undertake, where they're willing to pay people for referrals, and so it's not dissimilar to that. So if you're successful in this process in creating channels of distribution, there are a number of benefits that we're going to go over now. Number one, primarily, is that you get to create an additional income for yourself. So today was a wonderful day because our wealth engineers got paid today from DuePoint. They got an additional paycheck. They got a happy SMS from the bank before the end of the month, when they got all the sad debit order SMSs come off. And so that is the primary benefit, is creating additional income for yourself. The nature of the income that we create is what we call recurring income. Some people refer to it as passive or annuity income. What is the difference? So if you consider your salary is what we call an active income. It is based on activity. It's constrained by time. You only have so many hours a day that you can commit to working for your employer, and your employer will pay you a salary based on that, right? But if you decide, or you cannot, maybe you get injured or your health deteriorates, whatever reason, you can't go to work next month. What happens then? Or if you can't go to the work the month after that. So there's a lot of risk attached to employment. And you have insurance companies that will try and mitigate that risk. There's employment, salary protection policies you can get, and you've got life policies. Yeah, you get all these policies that are there to help you mitigate risk. But if you start investing time into acquiring an asset or building an asset like a channel of distribution, we pay our wealth engineers for the channel of distribution that they build, not the activity. And so you can spend time building a channel of distribution. Let's say you spend time building a channel of distribution in October. In November, you don't have to do anything. Maybe you don't do anything for DuePoint in November, but you've still got the channel of distribution and you will still earn income. And that's why recurring income is so powerful. We allow you to harness the power of duplication. So this is very inherent of network marketing remuneration models. They'll say to you, you can go build a team that will create greater income for you. So we are similar in that benefit, where you can go out and build a channel of distribution, a team that will assist you and collaborate with you to build a channel faster and bigger than you could on your own, right? And you get remunerated for that. Our business is FlexiTime. The technology that we have here at DuePoint allows you to build your channel of distribution from your mobile phone. So literally anywhere in the country at any time of the day. You don't even have to be in the country, really. Right? You could be in England and you could build your channel of distribution. So the technology allows us to do that, makes it very convenient. We don't have startup capital, so we've designed this business to have very low risk, a very low barrier to entry. What does that mean? It means you don't have to worry about anything or have any fear in trying this business out. How many opportunities do you go to when they say, oh, to get started is 4,000 Rand or 1,000 Rand or whatever? Now you're suddenly sweating and you think, jeepers, I'm struggling already month to month. Now I must worry about 4,000 Rand or 3,000 Rand every month, or they want a lump sum, right? Like that beautiful Bitcoin scam earlier in the year where they suggested that you invest at least 24,000 Rand. And that money's also disappeared, right? The trader disappeared. The trader went missing. They never met the trader, but he's gone missing. He's not on YouTube anymore, and he took their money with him. We want you to be able to consider this business without any fear of risk, right? So we've designed it purposely to have very low risk. There's no qualifications or experience requirements, so it doesn't matter what your background is. You could have experience in the corporate world, maybe none. Maybe you don't even have a matric. Maybe you don't even have a degree. It does not matter in our business, right? It is a level playing field for everybody. You get to build an asset, so I've spoken about this already, but this is an asset, this channel of distribution that you build here at DuePoint. You have legal tender over it. It means you have ownership over your channel of distribution. It means then that you can sell it, right? For whatever reason. We've got a number of wealth engineers who have decided to sell they got so tired, they decided, well, they're going to sell their channel of distribution. You have the liberty to sell it because it has asset value. If it's producing 5,000 Rand a month in recurring income, that has value. You can sell it. It also means, and this is the antithesis of your salary, is that your asset doesn't retire you when you get to 60. Right? So you've got to now question. So this for me is such a big, important point, right? We don't think about this enough. Probably the most valuable commodity that you have is your time. But we spend 40, 45 years dedicating the majority of our day for 40, 45 years to a salary that has so much risk that 90% of South Africans can't actually afford retirement, right? Even 50% of South Africans can't afford to die. I read an article about that. Can you imagine a bank manager phoning you and say, sorry, you can't die yet. You must go back to work. You still owe money, right? And so when you consider that time is such an important commodity, should you not start investing your time rather into something that creates an asset that you have ownership over, instead of just burying 8 hours a day for 45 years into someone else's business, someone else's asset, where you've got nothing to show for it when you get to 60, 65. And so your channel of distribution will keep paying you through your 60s, your 70s, your 80s, and even when you die, you get to seed that wealth to one of your beneficiaries in your will. You can pass it on to your spouse, your children, whatever you want to do with it, right? And so I'm hoping that people will be happy sacrificing time into building an asset. There's no selling involved in our business, so when I say that you're going to go out and tell other people about DuePoint, I don't mean our products, right? You're actually not allowed to talk about our products. So we are very explicit in informing you that you may not market, publish, sell, anything with regards to our products. What you're going to be doing is telling people about the business opportunity, okay? And if you can get people's interest piqued enough that they're interested to find out more, that's when you show them the intro presentation. And so your only job is just to get people interested in making money, in business opportunity, financial opportunity at DuePoint, that they watch an intro presentation. And that's where I tell them about the products, right? I'm the only one licensed, myself and Brendan, to tell people about our products. And so you don't have to worry about selling insurance products or investment products or any of that. That's my job, right? Okay, the nature of our products, because they're financial, we don't have any stock and distribution issues. There's no boxes of product that you have to take home with you tonight or try to fit into your boot or into your garage, any of that. And so we try and make the products as convenient as possible. But your success is very much dependent on your ability to build a channel of distribution. You're going to go out and connect other people to DuePoint. When you're successful, that is the beginning of your channel of distribution. So in this example, you've connected 5 people to DuePoint who have become wealth engineers and product owners. And those people are going to go out and do the same thing, because they joined DuePoint for the primary reason to make money, right? And so they also have this mandate to go out and build a channel of distribution. But what they're doing is they're helping you build your channel in turn, right? That's why I say you've got this power of duplication that you can take advantage of. If you can go build a strong team, your income gets geared that much greater, right? You can achieve income that much faster if you build a strong team. You are free to connect anyone to DuePoint. And so people make the mistake of becoming too desperate and they connect anybody. Anybody. People who don't have resources to become a wealth engineer. You know, there's some resources required. You need data, you need perhaps a smartphone, you need to know how to use the internet, you should have an email address. And there are people that don't have those things, right? And if you bring those people into the business, they're not going to build channels. They're going to be asking you, how do I register an email address? How do I use the internet? Please, can I have a lift? Please send me data, right? If you build a strong business on your first point, we call this your first point. This is like your board of directors. Build a strong board of directors, because that behavior will filter into the rest of your business. If you bring weak people in, your whole business is going to be weak. Bring strong people in, your business will be stronger and more sustainable. Because when you're building an asset, it's like building a house. If you use rubbish material, the house is going to fall down, and then you can't rent the house out and get annuity income. If you build a strong house, it requires less maintenance. And then you don't have to worry. You rent it out, and for a few years will go by before you have to paint it or fix a toilet or a basin, right? It's a good analogy, I think. So build a strong house. Bring strong people in at the beginning. That's just a tip. So that's what a channel of distribution looks like. A quick warning to anyone who thinks that they're going to be a millionaire in this business by December. It's not going to happen. This is a authentic, entrepreneurial business opportunity. So if you think you have the tenacity to take on a business of your own, you're in the right place. If you're disillusioned, if you think that becoming successful in entrepreneurship is easy, you've got a big surprise waiting for you, right? Our business is simple, but it's not easy. It's hard. It's hard. Any business is hard. Anything that proposes that it can change your life, it's not going to be easy. I'm going to tell you that up front. But if you're willing to work at it, and we've designed it to be simple, like I said, with a low barrier to entry, so that anyone can get involved, but you just need that tenacity, the endurance to keep pushing in this business, right? And if you can do that, and if you can make small little increments in building your channel, just a little bit every single month, your salary will have nothing on this business, right? But it is not a 1-year job or a 2-year job. We are talking years of pushing before it makes massive impact in your life. But I think it's worth it because your salary is only going up by 3% a year, right? Exactly. Right? So you have to think about it. Where are you going to invest your time? So that's a little bit of a warning. You might be thinking, what on earth do we have a ballerina up on the screen for? Because people look at successful entrepreneurs and they see that. Because successful entrepreneurship, you only see from the outside. You see nice car, nice house, nice everything. But if you scratch away, entrepreneurs, they don't tell you much about the sleepless nights, the money they've put in, the time they've put in, the amount of failed businesses that they've gone through. Right? And so don't make the mistake of romanticizing entrepreneurship. It is not an easy endeavor. It's difficult, but it's worth it, I think. All right. So on to our financial products. So we've got 4 products here at DuePoint. You are free to consider any one of these products or more than one product. This is a personal decision you'll make. The products are also designed around wealth creation. So the investment products are designed for increasing your asset worth. The insurance products are designed to protect your assets. There's no point in having asset value and then something happens and you lose all your money, right? And so the insurance products are valuable from a wealth creation point of view. And then lastly, we've got a kind of like a retail lifestyle product that should be saving you money every single month. So we're going to go through them. They are straightforward products. You can change any product month to month, right? You're not locked into anything here at DuePoint. So take a look. Access Wealth is our investment product. It's going to cost you 324 Rand a month, of which 100 Rand gets invested into a tax-free investment fund. So we take advantage of the tax-free legislation that exists in South Africa. You can bump that 100 Rand up to 2,500 Rand a month, but we start at 100 for the 324. But you've got flexibility there if you want to take full advantage of tax-free legislation, which says you can contribute a maximum of 33,000 Rand a year into that. Then you can start putting away a lot more every month so you can use that full 33,000 Rand that remains tax-free. So it starts at 100. We also give you some insurance with this investment to the value of 120,000 Rands worth of personal accident death cover. So if you're killed in any form of accident, we pay out your beneficiaries 120,000 Rand. And you also have full access to the investment. There's no restriction or notice period on the investment. But it takes us about 5 to 7 working days to clear that money for you and put it into your account. But it's not 30 or 60 days notice. So this is the investment product. Access Wealth. Second, Wealth Guard. Wealth Guard is going to cost you 249 Rand a month. This is purely accidental death cover. So this is only accidental death cover, but you get 1 million Rands worth of cover with this product. The beauty of this product is that that premium remains the same for everybody, regardless of your age. As long as you're over the age of 18, it doesn't matter if you're 18 or 40 or 60. It's 249 for everybody, and everyone gets the same amount of cover. And we don't profile your risk. So we don't send nurses, there's no blood tests, there's no questions, we don't want to know about your family history. It's very accessible product and zero discrimination on the product. Then thirdly, we've got Family Wealth. Family Wealth is a funeral cover product. So it starts at 299. You get 20,000 Rands worth of funeral cover. It includes up to 5 family members or dependents, and you also get 10,000 Rands worth of debt protection. So not only do you get the 20,000 Rand cover, but upon your death, if you owe anyone money, we'll pay up to 10,000 Rand of that debt that you have. And then you can increase the cover to 30,000 Rand if you wish, as well as up to 10 family members or dependents. And again, here, the price is the same for everybody because there's no excluded pre-existing conditions. So we don't exclude anyone, regardless of your health or your age. Again, wonderfully accessible product that's the same for everybody. And then lastly, we've got Wealth Points. Wealth Points is designed to lower your cost of living expenses every single month. So you think about all the money that we typically spend. What we've done is we've gone and approached a number of businesses and negotiated discounts with them, which we share with our Wealth Points members. So for 299 Rand a month, you have access to all those discounts immediately. The only one that has a waiting list is the Entertainer, which is a 6-month waiting list before you get access to that. But the rest you can get immediate benefit from. So always on Wi-Fi data, typically 100 Rand for a gig costs 37 Rand for a gig through Wealth Points. 2.5% off ShopRite checkers as many times as you want to shop off your entire trolley, right? So we've got a number of other online retailers there. You might recognize a few of them. Hershey's is very popular. We've even got car manufacturers. So our made the decision to buy a new car. Probably not the best decision, right? Because I didn't buy it cash. But I went to Eagle Ford to buy a nice Ranger. Then I had a heart attack when I found out how much that Ranger drinks. But nonetheless, I got an amazing price from Irvin at Eagle Ford. He gave me the same price I was quoted 5 years ago on a Ranger, right? And so you can get massive value out of looking at any of the cars. So you can see we've got Jaguar Land Rover Santon 2. So if you're looking immediate benefit, WealthPoint's awesome product to take up. So those are our 4 products. Straightforward, simple. There's more details on our website, in-depth video reviews if you really want to get into the nuts and bolts of each of the products, available on our YouTube platform. Very quickly to allow you to understand how our business model works, because the fundamental difference in our business model is that we don't do advertising or marketing, right? No advertising or marketing, whereas other insurance companies spend a fortune on marketing and advertising every year. But we still take that marketing and advertising budget, and what we do is we just assign it to our wealth engineers for the work they do in building channels of distribution, right? And so there's 2 ways to earn as a wealth engineer. We've got 2 programs here at DuePoint. The one's called the Returns Program, and the other one's called the Rewards Program. So those are the 2 ways to earn here at DuePoint. So there you see them, Returns and Rewards. We'll discuss the Rewards Program later. But the Returns Program is that money that we pay our wealth engineers at the end of every single month, like today. How does it work? So how do the payments work? We pay a base return fee of R27.50 for every product that you have in your channel, right? So now you remember the slide with your channel, right? And those dots were product owners in your channel. So we pay you a different amount depending on where the product lies in relation to you. So the people that you introduce to DuePoint always get placed on your first point. Okay, and the product on your first point, we actually pay double the R27.50. So you actually earn R55 for every paying product owner on your first point. And then when those wealth engineers go out and connect other people to your channel, that product lies on your second point. And again, you get paid R55. So you can imagine if you had 100 product owners on your first and second point together, you'd be earning R5,500 a month, right? And then those people go out and connect other people, and then that lies on your third point. And as your channel starts to grow out further and further, the multiplier starts to reduce, right? So by the 8th point, you're earning 4% of the R27.50, but we don't limit you there. So there's no limitation to the size of your channel. We will keep paying you 4% of the R27.50 from point 8 in theory to infinity. And there's no limit to how much money you can earn at DuePoint. We don't place any limitations on your channel size or your earnings at DuePoint. So that's the mechanics of the returns. It's fairly straightforward. That's available on the website. Often people want to, well, people always want to know, how quickly am I going to earn money in this business? Is this business worth my time? Right? So we built a projection over the next 5 years. It is based on a certain level of activity. So if you can connect 3 people to our business in the first month, right, that gets you qualified. And then all you have to do is connect 2 people onto your first point every consecutive month thereafter. So for example, in October, you'll connect 3 people. November, 2 people. December, 2 people, January, 2 people, February, 2 people, and you keep going, you keep adding 2 people every single month into the business. You can expect this type of growth with regards to your income. After 6 months, you could be earning R2,500 a month. Now you're thinking that's maybe one petrol bill a month, right? But I want to illustrate to you the power of paying your debt off here. So I assume everyone wants to own property. Right? You want to own it, not bond it, own it. Yes, but most of us can't afford to pay cash for property, and so typically most other owners will get the property bonded, right? You'll go get finance from the bank, but at least you have the opportunity to pay that finance off as quickly as possible. You don't have to take the 20 years to pay a bond off, or some people take a 30-year bond. You don't have to take 7 years to pay a car off, or 6 years. You can do it in 1 year or 2 years. Now I'm going to show you the value of that. So here we have an example of someone who's financed R1 million property, right? So over 20 years they financed it. They get an interest rate from the bank of, let's say, prime plus 2. That equates to about R11,500 installment that they have to pay every month for the next 20 years. And then when they make that last installment, then they become a homeowner for the first time. Right? And you think about the risk that that poses. You get retrenched and you can't make that payment. The bank goes, oh, we'll take the property back. Your interest payments have been bulked into the front, so they say, oh, 7 years after paying back the bond, you still owe R1 million on the property. And they say to you, we want the R1 million. And you say, well, I'm retrenched, I can't do it. And they go, okay, we're going to auction it off. And they auction it off for 500,000 rand. Right? So you think about the risk. If you suddenly decide, oh, I'm going to pay it over 20 years, pay your bond off faster, 2,500 rand. You can either take the 2,500 rand and spend it, which most of us would do, right? We would spend the 2,500 rand. But here's a little lesson. If you take the 2,500 rand and just put it into your bond, right? It's tiny. I mean, you're paying 11,500 rand every month. So 2,500 rand is what, an extra 20% that you're putting into your bond every single month. You'll pay that bond off in 11.5 years instead of 20 years. It saves you 900,000 rand in interest that the bank would have charged you over that period, right? And now it empowers you. Suddenly, after 11.5 years, suddenly you've got an extra 14,000 rand a month. You can start investing that money or buy a second property. But we spend the money and then we take the 20 years to pay the property off. That's what the majority of consumers do. At month 12, you'll be earning close to 9,000 rand a month. That's an extra 100,000 rand a year. Imagine getting a 100,000 rand present from DuePoint every year for Christmas. 100,000 rand check. Imagine. Right? That has to become a goal for you. I want your imagination to start running wild. Because for any change to take place in anyone's life, it has to first start with belief. You have to believe that it can happen before you're going to invest any time to make it happen, right? And so, yeah, I want you to see what is possible with DuePoint. After 2 years, so 24 months, you should be close to 30,000 a month. See how quickly that jumped? That's a quick jump. But remember, you're still doing two new people into the business every single month. After month 36, you're close to 50,000 rand. Month 48, you're close to 70,000 rand. And after 5 years of doing this business, you could be earning nearly 1 million rand annually from DuePoint. Now, we're only 2.5 years old. There are wealth engineers well on their way to this number already. But you've got to ask yourself, can you do this for 5 years? 2 new people every single month. Can you speak to a person every single day of the month? You will run out of your friends, acquaintances, and colleagues in month 1. You better be comfortable with going up to strangers. So can you do that? Is it worth it? Are you too shy? Right? This is something you've got to come to terms with in our business. I said our business is simple, but it's not easy. Right? But I want you to understand, well, think about it clearly. If you can get to a point where DuePoint is paying you nearly 85,000 rand a month, over and above your salary, what would you be willing to do for that? So this is academic. It's just a very complicated projection that the actuaries built up, because it takes into consideration people that don't build, people that don't pay for their products, all the negative aspects we deal with as a business. But nonetheless, we still get to this number. But we've got wealth engineers that do this business. So we've got probably 100 testimonies that you're free to go watch on YouTube of people that have actually done the business. And you go listen to them and understand what they think of the business. Because we don't prep these people. They come up and they say what they want. Right? We actually encourage them. Tell everybody the difficulties of this business and then what the rewards have been in the business. Because you're still standing on the stage, you're still active, so it must mean that you deem it to be worthwhile. Right? So that's the message always, is that it's been worthwhile, regardless of how hard it's been. So Sandra, she joined us 2 years ago. We've paid her over 21,000 rand. She's got 8 points in her channel. She's got nearly 400 people in her business. But more importantly, so Sandra's story goes like this. She joined. She started doing really well in the business. I think her income went up to about 4,500 rand in a single month. And then she disappeared. Gone. She saw, these are her own words, all right? So she was very brave to come back and stand on stage and tell everyone the story. But she says she was attracted to other business opportunities. She thought the grass was greener on the other side. She saw other people. She thought, oh no, my business isn't growing fast enough. I want to go join another business. And she disappeared. We didn't see her for over a year. Right? She did nothing in the business. But while she was gone, we still paid her money. Why? Because we don't pay people for activity, we pay them for the channel that they've built. And that's the benefit of building an asset and investing your time into creating an asset. Then we got Casper and Madeleine, similar story. 2.5 years, they joined the business the week we launched DuePoint. They're currently earning over 7,000 Rand a month. They've earned almost 50,000 in total. They've got over 500 people in their channel, 13 points the size of their channel. It's huge, right? So they were very clever. Casper was very clever. At the beginning, he brought in very strong people. One superstar guy that he brought in on his first point. And he started earning some money, and then he disappeared too. What's wrong with people? Right? It's never enough. But you listen to his testimony, he'll say he wasn't sure whether he could do the business, and so he had issues of belief in himself, in the system. And then all of a sudden in 2018, change of attitude. Got stuck into the business. He went from rank 2 to rank 5 in the last few months. That'll make more sense to you. His earnings went from under 1,000 Rand to 7,000 in the space of 6 months. He gave himself a 700% increase in his recurring income in the last 6 months, right? The system didn't change, just his attitude changed, right? And so he's stuck. He's got back into the business, and we're very happy for it. Then we got Lynette Bardnor. She never gave up, not for a single month, but her business stalled in 2017. So she got stuck in the day we launched the business. She was one of the people that we invited to the launch. She joined the same day. She's currently, her channel value is over 16,000 a month, right? Not bad for a pensioner from Vanderbijl Park. Her size of her business is huge, 19 points, her business. She's got nearly 2,000 people in the business. She's already earned nearly 140,000 Rand out of the business. And 2017, nothing happened. Her business just plateaued, like the top of Table Mountain. Straight. She came for meetings every month. What am I doing wrong? And we try to help her, try to do this, try to do that. Maybe it's the people you brought in on your first point. People weren't building, they weren't duplicating in her business, but she never gave up. For an entire year, she just kept pushing and kept pushing and kept pushing. And then suddenly in 2018, it just skyrocketed. Her recurring income, I think, quadrupled. I think she was at 4,000 at the beginning of the year, right? Up to 16,000. And there's way more value that she can unlock. She's gone rank 8 this month. Right, so she's got another rank. She went from rank 3 to rank 7 this year. She was rank 7 last month. She's going to be rank 8 this month. She's going to be rank 9 probably next month, just in time for Mauritius. Right? Again, it's just testament to endurance. If you go speak to entrepreneurs, no entrepreneur is going to say to you, oh, it was all luck. They'll say to you, maybe a little bit of luck, but it's endurance. I just never gave up. I never stopped believing in my business or that I could do it, right? Even when everyone else is telling you, what are you doing? You're wasting your time. Oh, the circumstances don't agree. People wait for the perfect conditions before they think that something's worthwhile to invest in. So we've got thousands of people joining the business every single month. Everybody's different. The wealth engineers know, love to compare things to sport. This business is like Comrades Marathon. You have to figure out how you're going to finish this race. Right? Because to become successful at DuePoint is not a 1-kilometer sprint. It is a 90-kilometer race. You have to pace yourself. You've got to figure out, how does DuePoint fit into my life so that I can sustain this race for at least 5 years? At the very least. It's not a 1-year race. It's not a 2-year race. We're talking 5 years at least. To make impact. We don't want you to earn 3,000 Rand and that's it, or 5,000 Rand or 10,000 Rand. We want people to change their lives. We want to see people get to 100,000 Rand a month. I want to see people buying houses in Steyn City and Bentleys and sports cars, sending their children to any university that they want to. That is true liberation, right? And so for me, we can get stuck on what can DuePoint do for you? What do you want? How rich do you want to be? But the practical decision, the decision you have to make tonight and every week, every day going forward is, how do I fit DuePoint into my life? How does it become part of my family? Because you're going to be sacrificing time, right? You're going to have to spend less time at home, less time watching TV, no more generations. less sports on the weekend, whatever it looks like, you've got to figure out, how do I fit a few hours every week for DuePoint? Because that's the only way to change your circumstance currently, right? Don't treat it like a New Year's resolution or a hobby. It's not one of those things. We're not trying to lose weight or eat less sugar. We're trying to save our lives. If you think about it, 90-something% of South Africans can't afford to retire. Imagine working for 45 years and you get to retirement and realize I've got to go find a job now. Or I've got to ask my children for money every month. Right? Odds are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 of us are going to be faced with those circumstances. How do you get started as a wealth engineer? Very simple application form on our website on the mobile app. Takes about 5 minutes to complete, so it's very straightforward, becoming a wealth engineer. But you have to start applying yourself to this business. How would you apply yourself to a brand new business that you've taken the responsibility of assuming for your own, right? Go watch our training. That's a good start. So we've got lots of training. It's all categorized nicely. We've got what we call a getting started, a basic series that you can go watch. Just a few videos there. It'll get you on track. But more importantly, set goals for yourself, because the setting goals is what will drive you. So what do you want to change in your life? Why are you here? Why are you here? I don't know why you're here. Only you will know why you're here. But you have to have a big reason. It's not about money. Money is the means to the end. So what is the end? You don't want to be a statistic? Want to be wealthy? What does that mean, you want to be wealthy? What does wealthy mean? Does it mean that you get to provide for your children, for your family? That you're terrified of getting retrenched with no plan B? What is it? That has to be the reason, right? So set goals for yourself. The goal will be monetary. So if you say, well, I want to be able to provide for my children, even if I get retrenched, well, maybe you have to get to 30,000 Rand a month as quickly as possible. The plan then is, well, give yourself 2 years to get to 30,000 Rand. That means you've got to be connecting 2 or 3 people every month onto your first point. That means you've got to speak to more than 2 or 3 people every month. You've got to speak to 10 to 20 people a month, because only a portion of them agree to become wealth engineers. And that is the only number you have to worry about. You don't have to stress about who says yes or who says no. You don't know who's going to say yes. You don't know who's going to say no. Don't worry about it. Worry about the big number, the 10 or the 20 that you have to speak to, because that ratio is the same. Once you start speaking to people, you know 20, 30, 40% will join. You just have to knock on the 20 doors. That's what you control. That's what you worry about. Get merchandise. It will make you more successful in connecting people. This is not a profit center for us. We don't make money out of pens and notepads. These are tools to help you. I come from a background of branding and advertising, right? We do branding and advertising to create credibility in the consumer's eye. If you go to a meeting and you've got a notebook, you've got a pen, and you've got business cards, people immediately make a judgment call and go, wow, this person really believes in DuePoint. They really invested in DuePoint. They must believe in it. They must have trust in the business. And the merchandise looks good, so DuePoint must be a fairly credible business, right? So consider getting the merchandise. The business cards, most important. You can't do business without business cards. It might seem traditional. You might think, well, I've got WhatsApp and I'll put you in my contacts. Business cards are still old school. Old school always is credible, right? Join our Facebook page. We're very active on Facebook. Some lovely posts that you can share easily to your stubborn friends that don't want to come to the intro presentation. You can nag them on Facebook. Our YouTube platform, very important. So all our videos are on our YouTube platform, and there's everything from training to testimonies, all kinds of stuff there. But more importantly, it's the platform that we use to live stream. So the camera in the corner there, pointed at me, is broadcasting to the entire country, and we live stream this intro presentation 8 times a week. That's 8 opportunities a week. 8 times 52, 400. That's 400 intros we're doing a year. Those are 400 opportunities for you to build your channel anywhere in the country. Because you only have to send someone a link on WhatsApp or email, say, watch this video. You're moaning about money, watch the video. I'm going to phone you afterwards. They say yes or no, it doesn't matter. You keep doing that to people. This is a very powerful platform to build the channel. And then make sure you download our mobile app, available for Android and Apple devices. The mobile app is basically your business in the palm of your hand, right? You will run your DuePoint channel from your mobile phone. Then onto our XP Rewards program. So don't forget about the rewards program. You can see it looks very exciting. There's a beach, there's blue sky, there's water. It looks great. It is not as important as making recurring income every single month, but it's got some wonderfully visceral rewards. So these are things people get very excited about. People sometimes just replace their goals with a reward. So how does the rewards program work? Basically, we reward you with the success that you have in building your DuePoint channel, right? So over and above the money that we pay you every single month. So if you start out as a wealth engineer for the first time tonight, you will start as a rank 0 wealth engineer. You're not even on the slide, right? To get onto the slide, very easy. You need 1,000 XP. You need 4 products in your qualified channel. What's XP? XP stands for experience points. We give you experience points for everything that you do DuePoint related. So you earn that if you're active. So 1,000 XP you can get literally in about 30 seconds. 4 products in your qualified channel. When you meet those 2 criteria, you become rank 1, and we give you an extra 55 Rand at the end of the month. Humble beginnings, right? Because can anyone get excited about 55 Rand reward? Humble beginnings, because what you've just proven to yourself is that you can work the system. That's a very important milestone, to prove to yourself that you can do DuePoint. If this process takes you a month to do, well, just take what you've done by a month and multiply it. Because you've got time, man. 2 years, that's 24 months. The only thing separating you from rank 20 is time. The rank 20s are doing the same thing the rank 1s are. They're knocking on doors. There's no difference, right? And that's why endurance is so important. If you get frustrated with time, I'm sorry, no one's figured out how to bend time yet. It's not something you're going to change, right? So be patient in this business. And then as you start collecting more and more XP, your channel is growing, you get to rank up, and the rewards get bigger and better. 20,000 Rand checks, right? So Lynette got to rank 8 today. She came to pick up her 20,000 Rand check today. Her and her husband, dressed nicely. We took a photo of them. Big check like this, right? So you'll see it in the email that goes out tomorrow to all the wealth engineers. They'll be right at the top of the Movers and Shakers mailer. Awesome achievement, right? They've got lots waiting for them. They are just getting started. Our business is still a toddler. Then at rank 5 and some of the other ranks, we give tools to our wealth engineers to help them build their channels more effectively. So this little fancy memory stick's got all our video collateral on there, and it plugs into any device, tablets, phones, laptops, computers, TVs. At rank 7, we get very special business cards manufactured for our wealth engineers at rank 7. They are very expensive business cards. They cost us 12,500 Rand. I was actually trying to find a different supplier for our business cards today. Tried to source them from a company in the US. It was going to be $2,000 for one set of cards. One set. So I think we're going to be sticking with our local supplier because it only cost us 12,500 Rand for one set. They are business cards that are actually made out of 4 sheets of board, so they're 4 times thicker than the other card. There's no ink on these business cards. They are foiled in gold on the front. The sides are what we call gilt edging or edge foiling. That's also done in gold. So you must know how important you're going to feel when you go to a meeting with these business cards. And you can only fit about 2 in your wallet at a time, which is fine because you don't want to give them away, right? You give them to special people. Again, it's all about credibility, first impressions. What first impression are you creating when you're knocking on doors? Then at rank 9, our first recurring reward. So this is something that you get to enjoy every single year. Our rank 9s have 1,000 paid products in their channel. Some wealth engineers have got there in 5 months. Some have taken a year, some 2 years. It'll take you about 2-3 years if you're constantly engaged in the business. But take a look at what rank 9 looks like. Cheers.
Gone and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sand where no one can see you stand. Don't let the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up.
So that's what rank 9 looks like. We take you and your family on our rank 9 trip every single year for the rest of your life. Business class flights there and back. 5-star luxury resort for 7 days, all expenses paid trip. You don't even have to bring 50 cents. Nothing. You bring your passport and that's it. Your kids can even clear out the mini fridge in the hotel every single day and they'll restock it for nothing. Every single day, right? And this happens for you every single year. Think about that. You get to rank 9, you're earning between 20, 25,000 every month from DuePoint, and you're going on a business class family holiday every single year for the rest of your life. And one gentleman did it in 5 months. Got to 1,000 products in 5 months. It is up to you. No one dictates to you how quickly you have to do this or how slowly. It is up to you. 2 ranks later, at rank 11, we spent R250,000 rand buying you a brand new car. So now you're driving a car with no debit order at the end of the month. And we've got wealth engineers that did this in less than 2 years. Right? So this is just the beginning. This is what you can aspire to receiving. You can get very excited over these things when you begin, but I want you to know that when you get to rank 11, you are still just getting warmed up. Because 2, 3, 4 years in the business is nothing. We spend 45 years working for somebody else. 5 years invested into a business that creates asset value for you is nothing. It's 10% of your working life. That often results in not much to show for it. Maybe a gold watch and a cake. Right? That's just a harsh circumstance that we all have to face. So that's rank 11. Our rewards program goes up to rank 28. Rank 11 is just the beginning. We reckon the first 28 ranks will take about 30 years for wealth engineers to get through. So there are much bigger cars waiting for you. Better holidays. Way more in store for wealth engineers. This is just the beginning. We've got national encounters planned for the balance of the year, so we've already had 2 of them. The first one was Durban, then we had PE last weekend, so we've still got Bloemfontein, Bombela and Cape Town left over. These are opportunities for you to get DuePoint, to really get stuck in and help you build your channel in different parts of the country. So we're going down to these 3 remaining destinations, and we are doing serious belief-building business seminars in these venues. So we go down to these cities, and I promise you, it is 3 hours of people just getting bombarded by the benefits of this business, so that they come out feeling empowered and confident in this. Your job is to get people to fill those seats. And so if you know anyone, or if you know anyone who you think knows someone in any of these destinations, phone them and just say, give me names. I need to get 20 people to each of these events, because by December, you could have a channel that's in the whole country. Just a little bit of effort on the phone. That's all you need to do, right? And even better, if you can come down to these destinations and be with those people, you're seriously investing in channel building, right? Because I imagine some people have written 2018 off. How many weeks are left of 2018? Who's already gone into Facebook and said 2018 is rubbish? 2019 is going to be my year. Do you think 2019 is going to be your year? Odds are no. I've already seen the next petrol price increase has already been announced, 40 cents before the end of the month. November we'll have a couple of more surprises in store for us, I'm sure, right? I hope we've realized that we need to start doing something desperately. It is not a luxury anymore. Our business is not luxury. It's not some extra spending cash anymore. It has become necessity for South Africans to start looking for alternative ways of making income. And we believe that we've got the most trusted business opportunity that exists in South Africa. So that is my invitation. Come join us at DuePoint. There's very little risk involved, so you shouldn't have any fear of at least trying this business to see what it does for you. And I'm hoping that we can create a prosperous remaining 8 weeks of the year. What, we got 8, 9 weeks? Maybe 10 weeks. 10 weeks left of the year. We can change it around for you. We can make your December, we can make you wealthier than you were last December. And if you can do that in 1 year, That's what you just keep building on, because we never reset your channel to 0. You just keep building on what you've got, right? So that is my invitation. If you have any questions, come speak to me. Otherwise, I wish everybody the best of luck and prosperity for the next 10 weeks, hopefully with DuePoint involved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.